It is 1879 and the British are defending the small defensive area of Rorke's Drift. The British have defended this small hospital with around 150 men, out of which 30 or 40 of which are wounded. Although these men are wounded and sick, they are willing to sacrifice their lives because they know they cannot escape from the fast wrath of the Zulu kingdom, who just massacred 1800 of their own fellow men in the Battle of Isandlwana. The British cavalry, light cavalry, which escaped from the carnage, offered to help, but immediately after the battle commenced, they ran away with firing only a few skirmishing shots. Now, the British, angered with this, some of them even shot at their own cavalry because of the anger they had, because they were at the bleeding edge of life and death. Yet the British couldn't do, and they had to hold their small defensive position. Will the British survive? Let's begin. Hello guys, my name is Napoleon India, and today I am going to present you with the game known as Tabs, and we are going to recreate the Battle of Rorke's Drift. Now let me introduce both armies. You have already seen the intro, you know what is going on, so let's see the drill. So the British are occupying this defensive position with a single file line, while there is a double rank here in order to protect their gap. Even though they did not have, they have two officers which escaped from the carnage, and here are three wounded soldiers from the hospital, and here are the Zulus. Now you may think, why the Zulus have so less men? Well, in reality, the Zulus did not just send one huge push against the British. It was actually they first sent over 600 men to test the power of the British. Then they slowly sent over more men, trickles of men. Then they finally sent one formidable push against the British defensive positions. As you know, it went pretty horribly. So let's see how the Zulus fare in this battle. As we see the Zulus charging the defensive position, they get hit with rifle fire from all sides, even from the defensive hospital position. Let's speed it up, and the Zulus are trying to charge this defensive position of the British. Now the British bayonet will be able to hold it, and the Zulu charge will be effectively contained inside the defensive position. So only one Zulu warrior is left. He's fighting bravely, but he also knows he will perish. Now the Zulus will continuously send more waves after this though. That's for sure. And the next wave, we will see something very interesting here. Now the Zulus have also their own rifles, and they are going to fight the British with these things. And the British, although they have a superior amount of numbers, this is the second defensive wall. Will they be able to hold this Zulu fire? Let's see. Now let's see from the British perspective of view how it feels like. And the Zulu skirmishers have fired with the British, and the Zulus have got no chance. Now, just because the Zulus lose in this battle doesn't mean they will lose in the entire war. The Zulus will send more skirmishers in order to deal with this British defensive position. And with this, the Zulus have sent, and while this is happening, the Zulus have sent 2-3 more charges into the other wall of the defensive position of the British. And with that charge, the British have to hold it. Now the Zulus have sent one more army to charge the British defensive position, and this time they have a lot of Zulu warriors, and some of the skirmishers being armed with old muskets or some rifles that were captured from the armory. While attacking Isandlwana. Now, keep in mind, these are not regular British troops. Most of these are actually just civil engineers who just wore on the uniform in order to look intimidating. All they have left is their guns, and they have to hold this position. Let's see if they are going to hold this for long or not. Now, as the battle rages on, the British fire one huge volley, and the Zulus, half of the Zulus are decimated, while some of the British also have been wounded by the gun. Now the Zulus are charging the defensive position. The British also are going to, do their best in order to break the line. But they also know themselves that the British are not going to give up so easily their position. The British have got many wounded but are not going to give up their resolution. The Zulus keep on charging the Congo line, but it is futile, as many of them perish while trying to do so. And if they see the British reloading and even try to attack, they know they are going to be put by the bayonet. And yes, small headers died. Now they would have to engage with the skirmishers. Now the British, this British hospital soldiers are still left there on that flank, and the British riflemen are also technically there, but what can the British do? And with that, I think so this is going to be a stalemate and this will never end. So with another charge, the Zulus push through the defensive position of the British and they attack the hospital. So now the Zulus have attacked the British hospital. The British hospital is now currently full with wounded men, with some of the British soldiers, quote unquote, are defending with the wounded men and are trying to escape. So here, as you can see, the condition for the British is to survive 20 seconds because there are around 3 to 4 times the amount of Zulus than the British here. So will the British survive? Let's see. So as soon as the battle commences, the British have started to fire, and the Zulus are already coming closer. The number on my screen is getting like pretty huger every single second. The Zulu obviously will not get past through the British because, well, these are now as the Zulus are getting closer to the British defensive position, the British are trying to escape with the back route being there. Please pretend that this is the actual position of the British, and then the Zulus are, camping the British. And as soon as the Zulus think that they're going to eliminate all the British, well, majority of the casualties in Rorke were actually in the hospital, the British survive and escape to the hospital. Now because of this big number you cannot see, but well, at least some of the British have survived, are going to regroup, and the Zulus, confident with their victory, are going to charge the British last defensive position. The British only have 100 bullets or so left, 900 or 1000. The Zulus don't know this but are still exhausted, and with one final charge the Zulus will show who knows what might happen. The British have gone into the last defensive position after all of their walls have been overrun by the Zulus. Even their hospital was barely escaped by them, and all of the men that were there have piled up into this one sandbag position where all of the soldiers concentrated here, which are going to pour fire at the Zulu waves. The Zulus have been extremely exhausted. They don't know how many bullets the British have, or don't know how their morale is, but they do know the amount of bullets the British have fired at them, the amount of soldiers that they have lost, over 350. They don't want to test the chances, but yet they are going to send wave after wave crashing against the British defensive position. Will the British win this time? Because if they lose, this will be the end. This will be the last straw for the British to send more reinforcements. Let's see who will win. The white, no, I mean like the British troops or the Zulus. So now the British are going to fire a huge volley into the Zulu column in any given time and fire. Now normally the British would have, you know, done rank fire in this situation. They actually did rank fire the situation, but because this is tabs, I could not time up the bullets properly, so this is what you get. The Zulus, whatever soldiers they have, whatever small detachments they have, are going to try to attack this small British position. But the British also have their own bayonets, and while the Zulus are doing, they're thinking of retreating, because not only because the British are being pesky here, because even if the Zulus do one last charge, they know there's not much time. Even if they take this position, it's not going to be worth it, even if they somehow are able to win, because the British are sending heavy reinforcements with 2 Gatling guns. And after this battle, a British column with 2 Gatling guns and 10 artillery pieces will be sent to capture the Zulu capital. And with that, with my gibberish, the British won one of the greatest last stands in history. This is, my friend, the Battle of Rorke's Drift. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and you know, please subscribe, and thank you for the 50 subs. I have, you know, not seen it yet, but because of you guys only am I able to produce such content. And also I know it's kind of late to say this, but